Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a full face of new drugstore and affordable makeup. So I have lots of good stuff here today. I have some e.l.f., I have hard candy, BH Cosmetics, and I even have the new Nazanin Kavari and BH brush kit. But here's the twist. I actually already tested out these products yesterday because I wanted to give you guys a more accurate review today on each of the products. And in my last drugstore first impressions, a lot of you guys really liked the idea of me testing out the products and then kind of doing a second first impressions, I guess, if you will. We're still in like the first impressions phase because I only tested out the products once. I haven't been using them over and over again, but obviously I have like my kind of reviews already on the products based on what I used yesterday. So today I can kind of like maneuver the products a little bit better since I kind of know what I'm working with. We had a couple fails yesterday, which we'll talk about in the video, and I have two new products here that I'm going to test out, which again we'll talk about in the video that I didn't use yesterday, but lots of good stuff here. So we're just going to jump into it. Make sure you grab a snack, get cozy, and let's test out some new makeup. It's like 9 a.m. right now. Someone's mowing their lawn, so I'm sorry if you hear that. It's always something. Like where I live, I need to get this room soundproof. I don't know how to go about that, but I need to just do it. So I already have my brows done. I primed my lids and everything, and we're just gonna jump into eyeshadow. So I have here the BH Cosmetics Mimosa eyeshadow palette, which looks like this. So I am a big fan of BH Cosmetics. I have been using their products for years. They're so good, super affordable, and I used this palette yesterday. You can't even tell because you can see there's like barely any fallout, no kickback, but the shadows are super pigmented and buttery. But we're gonna use this again today. I'm actually gonna recreate a look that I saw, and I will link it down below. I was just kind of looking for some inspo on YouTube, and I came across this video, and I loved the look that she created, and I wanted to recreate it, so that is what we're doing today. So I'm gonna start off with the color Vibes up here, and I'm gonna be applying that right in my crease. And I am gonna be using the Nazanin Kavari brush set today, but I'm obviously gonna use a couple of my other brushes that I always use. Let's talk about her brush kit for a minute. I used it yesterday, and spoiler alert, but I absolutely love her brushes. They are such nice quality, and I'm so excited to use them again today because they were really great. I think they're great for like an everyday kind of makeup look. So this is what they look like. You get 9 brushes, and you get the makeup bag in here, which this makeup bag, first of all, let's just take a moment. This is so sleek and beautiful. The pop of green with the black leather is everything. It's just so like sophisticated. This is like Nazanin Kavari right here. Like when I look at her, I think of like this sophisticated, classy woman, and this is exactly what her brushes and this little makeup bag represent, and I love that. This brush kit, everything is super affordable. I mean, you literally cannot beat it. So I will link it down below. I don't know if it's still available. It might be out of stock, but I think a restock is coming really soon. But I snatched this up because I love BH, and I've been supporting her for years, and she's one of my favorites on YouTube, and her little family is so adorable. So yeah, I am a big fan, and I'm really happy for her. I'm gonna, of course, like I said, use a mixture of other brushes as well. Okay, so let's start off with that color Vibes. I'm just gonna buff that right in my crease. And right now I'm just using the e.l.f. and J Kissa brush, the blending brush. This one is the J3, which is another favorite. I really like the one in the BH brush kit, but this one is a little bit smaller, and I want to be a little bit more precise right now, so I'm just using this one first. Yeah, this palette is really nice from what I used yesterday. There wasn't a ton of kickback. I mean, there was a little bit, but it wasn't anything crazy. And my forehead is like extra shiny because like I literally just got up. Well, not just got up. I got up like 2 hours ago, but I like drenched my skin in moisturizer and SPF, and the lights are reflecting on my forehead. Then I'm gonna go into the shade Raspberry, which is like a really beautiful, like actual like pink raspberry color. And I'm gonna take that also in the crease, right in like the socket. I'm also gonna take that on the outer crease. And I'm gonna be cutting the crease in a minute, so that doesn't have to be perfect right there. Then I'm gonna take the Nazanin Kavari and BH brush. This one is the number 6 brush, which is like a really big blending brush. It's a great brush for if you wanna just like buff color in your crease, if you're like running late, you wanna do bronzer or blush in the crease. I really like it, but I'm actually gonna use a little bit of this shade Guava, and I'm gonna use this brush just to blend out the edges of my crease a little bit. And her brushes are super soft. I've tried many BH Cosmetics brush kits for, like I said, years. I mean, I've been using the brand for a long time, and they're really great, and I feel like for the money, you get a lot for your money. So you really don't have to spend a ton of money. Like I remember years ago, like when I was in high school, I saved up and I bought the Mr. Bunny brush set from Sigma, and it was like almost $200. And I remember everybody on YouTube was raving about the brushes, and I mean, they're really good. I still have some of them to this day, but like nowadays you don't need to do that. Like there's so many great brushes, and I feel like BH is great when it comes to makeup brushes. I've had some of them for like 4 years and they don't shed, they don't break, they're just really great quality. So then what I'm gonna do, and I know this doesn't look perfect, but again, we're gonna be blending and everything, so it's all good. I'm actually gonna cut the crease a little bit, and I'm gonna use the NYX Full Coverage Concealer in the shade Beige. It's just like a little concealer in a jar. I actually really love this for cleaning up the brows as well. I'm gonna take that concealer and I'm gonna start applying that kind of in the inner third of my lid. Okay, and then I'm going to use the Nazanin Kavari number 7 brush, which is like a flat shader brush. I'm going to set that concealer with this color right here, the white shade. This one is in Chilled. Right over that concealer. This color does have some fallout, but I feel like most white shades do. The good thing is white shadow, you can just like rub it away really easy because it's almost like powder. Now the edges of this are looking crazy, so we're about to blend everything out, and I'm actually going to blend everything out with this color right here called OJ in the palette. And I'm going to use an e.l.f. and Kessa J4 brush actually, and I'm going to take that OJ color and I'm going to put that kind of right in the center. So then I'm pretty much just adding kind of the product a little bit back and just building it up as I go. I'm using an e.l.f. Retro Paradise blending eye brush to add a little bit more of the orange in there, just to diffuse the colors a little bit more. And then I'm using a different fluffy brush from Sigma just to add that white shade and make it pop a little bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna do, of course, lashes today, but I tested out a new mascara yesterday, and this is actually really good. It's the Hard Candy Dare to Extend Ultimate Lash Extension Mascara. This mascara is so good for lengthening and separating your lashes. I really like the wand, and this actually showed up on my tiny baby lashes. So if you have long lashes, you will really like this. Again, it's not super volumizing, but I think it's really good for separating, and it's really black too, which I really appreciate. So other than the white eyeshadow kind of giving me some fallout, there really isn't a ton of fallout with the other shades that I used in the BH palette, which is very impressive. I'm debating which lashes I want to go in with. I do have these new lashes from Kiss, which look like this. Really, really pretty. I just don't know if I want to use these, or if I want to just use what I know and use my e.l.f. Faux Mink Lashes in Drama Queen, which I love. Let me see how these look, the ones from Kiss. I'm actually not crazy about them with this eye look. I think I'm just going to use the e.l.f. Faux Mink Lashes. I feel like I would like these more if I didn't have any eyeshadow going on. I like these because I feel like they just look good with any look, like no matter what look I'm doing, these always come through. So while the lash glue dries, let's prep the skin. I'm gonna do a little primer water. I actually tried these yesterday, the e.l.f. Soothing Facial Oil Mist. So it looks like this. This actually was really refreshing, smells really nice. It's super lightweight on the skin and very hydrating. So they have this one, and then they have these two other ones as well. So we have the Restoring one and the Energizing Facial Mist. So these are really nice. Again, I didn't try these, but I did try the other one and I really liked it. I mean, I guess I could mix this one. Let's do a little bit of this one today too. So this one says it has rose oil aroma, which enhances relaxation of the mind. Okay, so I'm gonna spray with a little bit of this one first. And the spritzer on these is really nice as well. Ooh, it smells like roses. If you were to go get a facial or something, that's what these kind of remind me of. They're like really light, relaxing scents. And this one, very just like calming. So these feel really good. And then yesterday I used a new primer from Hard Candy that I didn't love. It was a little too drying on my skin. And this is their Blurring 12-Hour Soft Focus Primer. So when I used this yesterday, it reminded me of a liquid version of a Poreless Putty Primer. And I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So it's very liquidy, super, super liquidy and runny. And then once you blend it, it's almost like a dewy kind of primer, and then it starts to get thicker once it absorbs into the skin. Sort of like a poreless putty primer, but it's really, really matte on the skin. I have combo skin, so I tend to go for primers that aren't super drying on my face because then my face feels super tight and dry. I'm not gonna use that. I actually have this new primer from Makeup Revolution. It is the Pore Perfecting Primer. So it's kind of like their version of the poreless putty primer, and I got this at Ulta actually, and this is what it looks like. I love a good poreless putty primer, and I'm excited about this because I really like the e.l.f. one. So far I think the e.l.f. one is my favorite out of all the other ones that I've tried. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, I normally use a lot of the putty primers because I feel like the more you use, the better it looks on the skin. I feel like the e.l.f. one kind of absorbs into the skin a little bit better. So, lashes are on. Skin is nice and prepped. For foundation, so yesterday I tested out the new Makeup Revolution Super Dewy Skin Tint Tinted Moisturizer, and the shades that I got were so pink. So I got the shade medium light and medium tan, and these were just straight up like light pink on my skin. Like they did not look good, but these are actually really pretty. It's kind of just like a tinted moisturizer. It doesn't have a ton of coverage, but when you build it up a little bit, it looks super natural, very effortless, and it kind of just looks like your skin, but better. So I feel like this is great if you were looking for something really lightweight. It actually lasted pretty well yesterday, but the color, like I said, is just awful on my skin. For that reason, I'm not going to use that today because that was a hot mess. So we have a new product. This is another new product that I didn't test out, but I got this in PR, so I figured we would test it out today. It's from Catrice. It's the Clean ID Hydro BB Cream, and it says 100% vegan and it has all natural ingredients in it. So I have tan warm and light warm. Okay, so I'm just going to mix. See, this is much better and it's a little bit more like warm on my skin versus that Makeup Revolution that was just straight up pink, and I did not expect that. So I'm actually going to use the BH and NAS brush. I saw her video and she used the #2 brush for her foundation. I normally don't use brushes typically for foundation, but we're going to use it today. I used this yesterday with the tinted moisturizer and it was nice, and then I just went in and built it up a little bit with a sponge, and I liked the way that it looked. So it says it's an ultra hydrating tinted beauty balm with shea butter, and it gives you a radiant natural complexion. Okay, yeah, so this is not gonna have a ton of coverage, but my skin, like, yeah, this is a little too dark for me, but I'm gonna build it up and I'll use a little bit of the, more of the lighter shade. But my skin has been doing like pretty good. Like I haven't had any major breakouts, like knock on wood. Okay, let's even this out a little bit. I'm gonna do another layer of it just to see how it builds up. Feels super nice on the skin, and just to build that up, I'm gonna use my sponge. So I can really press everything into the skin a little bit better. And there we go. That color works out. I think this would be great for like just an everyday kind of makeup look. So this is actually kind of reminding me of the Makeup Revolution tinted moisturizer. It's very similar in the sense where when you do one layer, there isn't going to be a ton of coverage, but when you start to build it up, you get a little more coverage and it just evens out your skin tone a little bit better. Still see like moles peeking through. If you have like acne, this is not going to cover it up because I do have a little bit of like scarring right here, and it doesn't really cover that up too much. It's just going to be a really like breathable lightweight BB cream. Now for concealer, I have this one from Makeup Revolution. It is their XX concealer, and this I used yesterday and I felt like the coverage was really nice. It just creased quite a bit on me, so we're gonna use it again. Packaging though and everything, it reminds me of something high-end. It's kind of like luxury, like it's giving me like Hourglass vibes a little bit. And I really like this wand also. So I'm gonna use a little bit of this color to lighten up this foundation, which is CX6. Actually, let's do CX5, yeah. I'm gonna mix those two. But this had pretty good coverage, and this also smells really good. It smells like a fruity foundation. Like, it smells good. This also has some good coverage, so I feel like it kind of balances out the BB cream. Yeah, I really like this combo. I really have been loving having a lightweight BB cream and then using a full coverage or medium coverage concealer. I feel like it kind of just gives me like that perfect balance. So I have here the CoverGirl Cream Blush in the shade Butterflies. I used this yesterday and I was like pretty disappointed in it because when I blended it out, it kind of just vanished and it blended away into my skin. So we'll use it again today. It's a really pretty, just like natural cream blush. I'm so into cream products lately, so I figured we would kind of test this out today. Don't have a new cream bronzer, but I'm still gonna do a little cream bronzer because I feel like the blush is gonna look better that way. So I'm gonna use this one from e.l.f. just to keep the video drugstore. I love this one. There aren't a ton of like cream bronzers at the drugstore, I feel like. So this is like, I feel like one of the only like actual cream palettes. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of this. I love this palette. It's super creamy. Okay, now let's do a little cream blush since we added the bronzer. So this is actually, like I said, a really pretty color. It's like a nice rose. I just used a little bit of cream blush always goes a long way. And I usually like to just use my finger just because I feel like you can really mesh the product in very nicely. I mean, I was also thinking yesterday, maybe it's just the color that is so incredibly natural that it's almost just like nothing on the skin. I think it might be the color because I feel like I've seen people like really liking these. And I don't have a new powder, I'm sorry. There was no new powders recently. I haven't seen like new translucent powders at the drugstore. So I'm gonna just use the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder in the shade Light. You know what? Let me use Naz's brush actually. I usually don't apply my powder with a brush, like sometimes, but today let's just go with it. So I'm gonna use her number 4 brush, which I feel like this could be a good contour brush to clean up your contour and even for your under eyes. So it's like a good universal brush. The concealer is looking so much better today than yesterday. I feel like it looks much smoother. I also do have a new brow mascara. I like kept the packaging so I could show you guys, but this is the Hard Candy Fiber Brow Gel. So I actually don't love this. The brush is a little bit too small and I don't love this color on me. It's a little bit too brown, but I'm gonna use it again today just because I have it here. But this is so tiny. I mean, if you're into a tiny brush, you will like this, but I like a brush that's a little bit thicker so I can kind of like fluff up my brows a little bit, and this is just way too small for my liking. Okay, then for bronzer, I have the CoverGirl True Blend So Flush High Pigment Bronzer. So when I used this yesterday, it was a nice color, but it does have some sheen to it. So it's not something that I really loved the way that it looked all over my face. I feel like it looks pretty just on the cheeks, but it almost looks like it has like a highlight to it. Like underneath, you can kind of see like that gold sheen. So to me, this is more of like a bronzer topper, not something that I would really love to bronze my entire skin with because of that sheen, you know what I mean? That rhymed. So I'm just gonna use this Pacifica Duo that I loved actually. So I was a little skeptical about it because the bronzer looks pretty dark, but it's actually really, really nice. I got this at Ulta. Also, I love this brush, the number 1 brush for bronzer. This is great. It diffuses the product so effortlessly on the skin. Okay, I guess I forgot how pigmented this was yesterday. I used too much. The bronzer is super easy to blend though. Like obviously I used a lot, but it diffuses into the skin really nicely, and I feel like the brushes also help a lot with that. So new favorite blush alert. The Essence blush in the shade 20 Bespoke. You guys, I found this at Ulta and this is the perfect blush, and it's like $3 or $4. It's so bronzy and pretty. It almost looks like you got natural color from the sun and now you're a little sunburned. Like, I know being sunburned doesn't always sound really cute, but this is like the epitome of that, and I love the look of it. So I'm gonna use the number 3 brush, and surprisingly, I like the way the blush looks with this. I normally don't use brushes like this. I love like a good like stippling brush, like this one's from ColourPop. Just something like that to apply the blush, but I really liked the way that it looked yesterday, so we're gonna use it today. See that color? I'm trying not to use as much as I used of the bronzer, but it's so pretty. I love it. All right, and I forgot to do bronzer down the bridge of the nose, so let's do that. Yeah, this Pacifica Duo is extremely pigmented, but like, let me tell you, like, see, that's a lot of bronzer, right? once you start blending, it kind of just is so seamless. You see what I mean? Like it's one of those bronzers that like it's intense, and it can be even more intense if you use too much, but it blends so easily. It's crazy. And then for highlighter, I'm going to use the Pacifica highlighter, and I'm going to use the number 5 brush. This fits perfectly right on the tops of the cheekbones. And this highlighter is really nice because it is like a really beautiful golden highlighter, but there's no like glitter in it. It's literally just like a sheen. Like even when I swatch it, it's kind of like barely there, but when you actually have it on your skin, it is so pretty. There's no like powdery residue. Like it's really nice. It's so smooth, but like it kind of gives you like that inner glow, like that wet kind of a look, but it's like so wearable and so smooth. I cannot get over this. Okay, now for the eyes, I am gonna do a little pop of orange, and then I'm also gonna do a pop of yellow in the inner corners, because again, I'm getting inspo from this other YouTuber that I saw, and I loved the way that it looked. So I'm gonna take the shade OJ again, and I'm gonna run that on the lower lash line using the number 9 brush from BH. And this is a good brush because you can kind of like place the color down where you want it. Like, and like, it's a good definer brush. So I'm like pressing it down, and then I'm gonna blend it out. And then I'm gonna use the number 8 brush, which is like a flat little definer brush as well. And I'm gonna use more of that OJ color, and I'm gonna blend it out. I'm actually gonna just spot clean that same brush, and I'm gonna use the shade Sunny, and I'm gonna pop that in the inner corners. For that little pop of yellow. I love it, so pretty. And then I'm gonna take the shade Champagne, and I'm gonna add that right in the inner corners as well. So it's almost gonna look like you have a yellow shimmer. And I'm gonna take some of the ColourPop BFF Cream Gel Liner in the shade Peach Fuzz on the waterline. Finally, I'm just gonna add the mascara that I was telling you guys earlier from Hard Candy, which is so good. For lips, I'm just gonna use the e.l.f. Retro Paradise Lip Liner, and this one is in Nude 01, I believe. They don't have the names on them. The names are on the back of the packaging, but it's just like the light nude pink shade. And then I kept the packaging on these as well, but I'm gonna add the e.l.f. Ride or Die Lip Balm, and this one is in Just Peachy. These are so nice and creamy. I've been really enjoying the Mighty Mint Lip Balm, the Ride or Die one. This has like been my go-to like everyday moisturizer for my lips. I especially love this before bed because then I wake up and my lips are so soft. And this is a really good dupe for the Bite Beauty Agave Lip Mask. But I'm gonna use this one today because I feel like this is very fitting with the eye makeup. So it goes on really bright orange, but then when you blend it out, it's so wearable and so pretty. Last but not least, I'm gonna set my makeup, and I'm gonna use the Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist. This was also a really great product. I tested it out yesterday, and like the mist is really fine and it smells really nice. It smells so good. It's like a very clean, like fresh scent, and we're done. Okay guys, so this is the completed look. I love the way this turned out, and this is, now that I think about it, probably gonna be my last summery makeup tutorial of 2020 because September is next week, and in my eyes, it's basically fall. So I'm excited for fall looks, but I really like the way this turned out, and I honestly love a lot of the products that I used today. There's only a couple things that I really wasn't a big fan of, so let's talk about that. Didn't really love this Hard Candy Fiber Brow Gel. I think the wand for me personally is a little too small, so I'm gonna pass on this. Don't love the CoverGirl Cream Blush. It just really didn't do much for me. I didn't get like that wow kind of factor from it. Maybe it's the color, I don't really know, but I'm not crazy about this. Let me know if you've tried this down below. I'm also not crazy about this Makeup Revolution Pore Perfecting Primer. It's just a little too thick for me. I feel like the e.l.f. one is a little bit more seamless and it just blends into the skin a little bit better than this one, but I will keep using it and I'll let you guys know. But like my first impression right now on this is that I definitely prefer the e.l.f. Poreless Putty. Everything else I think I really loved, to be honest. So I love this BH Mimosa palette. I think this is so cute. It's really wearable, easy to work with, blendable, amazing quality. I mean, So good. Love this hard candy mascara. It's great for separating and lengthening. I actually really do like this concealer today more than yesterday. I just feel like the shades, again, when you're ordering online, it's like hit or miss, but I feel like it is a nice concealer. I like the coverage of it, and it's not creasing on me as much as it did yesterday. And I really like this Hydro BB cream from Catrice. This is super natural, really fresh, really pretty on the skin. It's like your skin but better. It's gonna just feel basically like you're wearing nothing. So I feel like for every day, this is a good BB cream. And then I'm loving this Pacifica Duo. This is so nice. I mean, it's intense. I feel like if you are like a little bit darker than me, tanner, this bronzer could work for you because it is dark, but it is so easy to work with. I mean, you saw like I was able to kind of just blend it out and just make it work really easily with the brush and with the bronzer. So I really like this. And then this highlighter is everything. I mean, this is going to be my new favorite duo right here. I feel like this is perfection for every day. The highlighter is so pretty, but it's so smooth. It's not powdery and there's no glitter. And I love this Essence blush. I feel like this is a great like transitional fall blush as well, because like it's nice for summer because it almost looks like you have a little sunburn, but then for fall it's just like that classic kind of bronzy shade, which I love. Love all the lip products that I use. The e.l.f. Ride or Die lip balms. This was my first time using the tinted ones, and I really like the light little flush that it gives to your cheeks. I think for every day it's so pretty. I mean lips. Did I say cheeks? I meant lips. I really like the e.l.f. sprays as well. These were nice. I'll keep you guys posted, but so far I'm loving these. They're super hydrating. And last but not least, the Nazanin Kavari and BH Cosmetics brush set is everything. I feel like you really cannot beat it. 9 brushes and a makeup bag for under $30. That's literally like $3 a brush. Plus they're amazing quality, and I haven't even washed them yet, so I can imagine like when I wash them and everything, I feel like the brushes are going to be even better. And it's essentially, it's like you're getting the makeup bag for free because the brushes are already so affordable. But yeah, that is it for this look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. If you've tried any of these products, let me know what you think down below, and if there's any other new makeup you guys want me to test out, leave me a comment. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next one. Let me stop clapping now. All right, bye.